Once upon a time, in a small village deep within a lush green valley, there lived a woman named Anandi. She resided in a tiny wooden house at the edge of the village, where a babbling brook flowed through her garden filled with vibrant flowers. Anandi was over 70 years old, with silver hair and calloused hands from years of hard work. Yet her eyes still sparkled with warmth and brightness like the morning sun. Despite the challenges of life, Anandi always smiled, and her smile was like a light in dark days. Hey, amazing viewers! If you enjoy these stories, please hit that subscribe button. It's free and means so much to me. Your support helps me inspire more people. Thank you for being part of this journey. The villagers loved Anandi, not only for her kindness, but also for her profound wisdom and advice. She often sat under a large mango tree in the village, listening to stories of joy and sorrow from those around her. We cannot change the storms of life, but we can learn to navigate through them, she often said. One day, a young woman named Mira came to seek Anandi's help. Mira looked gaunt, with swollen, red eyes from crying. She was carrying a small child who appeared frail and weak. As Mira placed the child down on a mat next to Anandi, she spoke through her tears. "Oh, Anandi, I don't know what to do anymore. My husband has been away for over a year on business with no news. I have sold everything of value to feed my child, and now there's nothing left. I'm afraid he has abandoned us." Anandi looked intently at Mira, her gaze gentle yet piercing. She took Mira's hand and said, "Mira, do you know? When our minds are drowned in fear and despair, we cannot see the path ahead. But if you can pause and look deep into your heart, you will find the strength to move forward." Mira wiped her tears and asked, "But how can I find strength when everything around me is so dark?" Anandi smiled softly and replied, "Let me tell you a story." She began, "Once in a distant land, there was a man named Ravi. Ravi was a hard-working farmer, but a great flood swept away all his fields and home. With nothing left to lose, Ravi decided to leave his hometown in search of new opportunities. He trudged through dense forests and climbed treacherous mountains. But no matter where he went, people refused to help him. Ravi gradually lost faith and began to think that his life was filled with nothing but misfortune. One day, while Ravi was sleeping by a brook, he encountered an old man with white hair. The old man looked at Ravi and asked, "Why do you look so sad?" Ravi recounted all his losses and failures. After listening, the old man said, "Look at this brook. Does the water ever stop flowing? Even when it encounters obstacles, it finds a way to weave around and continue its journey. You too should not let difficulties halt your progress." The old man's words ignited a fire within Ravi's soul. He realized that instead of focusing on what he had lost, he needed to look at what he still had. Ravi began anew, with hope and belief. Eventually, he built a new life that was even happier than before. At the end of the story, Anandi looked directly into Mira's eyes and said, "Do you see, Mira? Ravi's life didn't change due to miracles. It changed because he changed his perspective on life. When you change your thoughts, you'll find light even in the darkness." Mira was silent as she contemplated. After a moment, she lifted her head and said, "You are right, Anandi. I will try not to let fear cloud my vision. But what if I fail?" Anandi smiled gently. "Mira, failure is just a part of the journey. What matters is that you do not give up. Each morning, remind yourself that today will be a beautiful day. You'll be surprised at the strength you find within." From that day on, Mira began to change. She woke up every morning, cared for her child, and worked in the garden, no matter how hard the chores were. Every evening, she prayed for her husband's safety. Gradually, Mira felt stronger, and a smile began to appear on her face. A month later, Mira received a letter. It was from her husband, informing her that he had found stable work and would be returning home soon. Mira couldn't believe her eyes. She ran to Anandi's house, weeping with joy. Anandi smiled and said softly, "You see, Mira, when you hold hope within your heart, You invite good things into your life. Even during storms, you can find light if you trust in yourself. From that point on, Myra's story spread throughout the village. Many people began seeking out Anandi for her advice. Her simple yet profound wisdom helped them face life's challenges. That small village gradually transformed into a place filled with optimism and hope. Life is not always easy, but our attitude determines how we face it. When we focus on the good, we find the strength to overcome challenges. A heart full of hope serves as a guiding light through every storm. Life will inevitably have its challenges, but how we respond to them determines our journey. When facing difficulties, rather than succumbing to fear and despair, we should seek out the light and strength within. Every failure is not an end, but an opportunity for learning and growth. Small daily actions, such as caring for ourselves and nurturing hope, can lead to significant changes. In every storm of life, remember that we can always find light if we persevere and trust ourselves. Life is more beautiful when we take time to recognize the good things around us. Live with gratitude and be open to new opportunities, as each day brings unexpected possibilities. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on more valuable videos.